Let's talk about the Charlie Kirk Memorial Service, why it was so stunning and so meaningful. I'm Rich Lowry of National Review, and wow, what an extraordinary show of force that memorial service was. Not just for Charlie's memory, but for Christ. 95,000 people in the stadium, another 100,000 or so outside the stadium, a sign that evangelical influence in Republican politics is not declining, in fact, might be stronger than ever after this horrific event. And obviously, the emotional high point, this breathtaking statement from Charlie's widow, Erika.
On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
That's just as moving every time you watch it. And you can see what a struggle it was emotionally, how hard that was. Forgiveness isn't easy. She's able to stand there and say that and feel that only through the grace of God. And this is a theme she emphasized throughout her remarks, the power of love and how love can triumph over hate. And what we've seen over the last week or so is this young man, Tyler Robinson, filled with hate, undertakes a hateful act, an act that in secular terms is completely unforgivable, and it's been met and generated this outpouring of love for Charlie Kirk, for his memory, for his legacy, for his cause. And you have so many people within MAGA and around it now wanting to redouble their efforts for this cause. Stephen Miller put it very well.
You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy.
A key phrase, going back to Erika's statement, was young man. She referred to Tyler Robinson as that young man several times. Why is that so important? Because it connects, obviously, to Charlie Kirk's mission, as Erika put it, to find the lost boys and save the lost boys of the West, these young men who waste their lives with distraction, give into hedonism or nihilism. And Charlie Kirk wanted to find them and get a message to them that there is a better way, that there's a way to a life infused with purpose and meaning as true men. Listen to Erika here.
Charlie passionately wanted to reach and save the lost boys of the West. The young men who feel like they have no direction, no purpose, no faith, and no reason to live.
Charlie's message was that young men can find meaning in taking on the responsibilities of real men, of getting married, of raising a family, of leading and taking responsibility. And Erika was very compelling when she talked about this biblical understanding of marriage.
Charlie perfectly understood God's role for a Christian husband. A man who leads so that they can serve.
Clearly, this is a message that transcends politics, that is higher and deeper than politics, a message for the culture. This is the ultimate point of the culture war, and undergirding it is faith. And at that service, it's amazing. We saw the Secretary of State sharing his faith.
His deep belief that we were all created, every single one of us, before the beginning of time, by the hands of the God of the universe, an all-powerful God, who loved us and created us for the purpose of living with him in eternity. But then sin entered the world and separated us from our Creator. And so God took on the form of a man and came down and lived among us. And he suffered like men. And he died like a man. But on the third day, he rose unlike any mortal man.
We saw the Secretary of War saying this.
Charlie started a political movement but unleashed a spiritual revival. My pastor texted me the day after that horrific event and said, Pete, the devil overplayed his hand.
The vice president made this observation.
I was telling somebody backstage that I always felt a little uncomfortable talking about my faith in public as much as I loved the Lord and as much as it was an important part of my life. I have talked more about Jesus Christ in the past 2 weeks than I have my entire time in public life.
We've all seen the survey showing the rise of the religiously unaffiliated in American society, the so-called nuns. And there's always been an assumption, an elite opinion, going back centuries. Even Thomas Jefferson believed this, that Christianity would inevitably decline and its influence would wane. What Charlie's work was devoted to, and what this memorial service shows, is no, it's incredibly strong, and it actually could get stronger. Erika Kirk again.
But most of all, God's mercy and God's love have been revealed to me these past 10 days. After Charlie's assassination, we didn't see violence. We didn't see rioting. We didn't see revolution. Instead, we saw what my husband always prayed he would see in this country. We saw revival.
Another central point. If you love America, if you love your countrymen, your reaction to even the most hideous, heartbreaking act of violence is not going to be to respond in kind. It's not going to be what we saw after the death of George Floyd. All that destruction in the streets, the arson, the violence. No, it's going to be to redouble your commitment to your cause and to doing it the right way. We've had the left shower contempt on the idea of so-called thoughts and prayers over the last several years. But what we saw in that stadium was people who were committed to prayer and were being uplifted by prayer and the comfort and the hope that it brings. Once again, Erika Kirk.
And what he chose to speak about that day was his submission to the will of God. He quoted one of his favorite Bible verses, Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Here I am, Lord. Send me.
Millions of people believe that to be true, know that to be true, and that's why an assassination meant to sow fear and cause despair has instead led so many people to be moved and inspired by the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. An act of destruction and hate is leading people to be committed to building and to loving. That's extraordinary. God bless the memory of Charlie Kirk. God bless the work of Erika Kirk. And God bless America. I'm Rich Lowry. Over and out.